Hey girl, I have no idea why this keeps happening. Can y'all hear my music? You said it sounds better now? Hey mama. You said you can hear it, but it isn't overwhelming. Praise God. Hold on, y'all. Y'all, I don't understand. I just don't understand. We gonna run that one back. If y'all can. I don't know. And what's crazy is my Wi-Fi did go out yesterday, but I don't know. If you guys can share this out to your socials so we can get more people in the room. You said you just joined but no audio. Is anybody else experiencing not being able to hear me? Let me know in the comments if you can't hear. I'm trying to think, and I can hear myself. I can hear myself. Y'all put my Sunday hat on. My friends that have known me for a long time know that I'm obsessed with hats. I like ball caps, but hats is my thing. Especially wide brim hats. Y'all, if you watching, hit the like button. There's 6 people watching and there's 1 like. All right, y'all, so, hey, Britt. Let's get an affirmation card to start us off tonight, okay? All right. I like this. So this affirmation says, I will get there. I'm going to do great today. Success is just around the corner. So that ties into what we're talking about tonight a little bit. I'm gonna pull another one too. So for those that hopped on this live, so I had a whole thumbnail for my last live. The title of tonight's topic is Getting Ready for Partnership. So I want to kick this off. I want y'all to get in the comments. I want y'all to tell me what partnership is to you. No right or wrong answers to this question. It's purely subjective. All right, I'm grabbing us another affirmation here. Ooh, I love myself deeply. That ties into what we're going to talk about tonight too. So these affirmations is hitting, y'all. Definitely hitting. So the first one again, I will get there. I'm going to do great today. Success is just around the corner. second one, I love myself deeply. All right, y'all, don't be quiet like last night. Last night, the crowd was way too quiet for me. Somebody get in the comments and tell me what's partnership. Shared responsibility and accountability, but also work towards a goal. That's partnership. Okay, I like that. Shared responsibility and accountability. Sharing accountability, I like that. But also work towards a goal. That's partnership. All right. So what else we got? While I'm waiting on the next viewer to put what their definition of partnership is. My definition of partnership would be working together in order to achieve a shared goal. Sacrifice. I'm sorry, y'all. I got text messages going all off. Divert my attention. But yeah, my definition of partnership is working together towards shared goals. And to me, backbone of partnership is sacrifice. Where you at, Mar? I know Mama already said her hands is tied up. I don't know who the other viewers are. Maybe some other viewers is just listening in. They too shy to come in the comments. That's okay. You don't have to be shy over here. Working together towards shared goals, plural, and being open to sacrifice. So the reason why I say being open to sacrifice is because every individual has their own mind, their own way of thinking, their own way of doing stuff. My favorite word, ego. I don't think there's a human being on this earth that does not have an ego. In my opinion, ego is the biggest roadblock to partnership. That's why I use the word sacrifice specifically. Now, when we talk about partnership, partnership is not reduced to romanticism. Partnerships are friendships too. Do we agree with that? Do we all agree that partnerships also involve friendships as well as business relationships? Or do we not agree? Or is YouTube kicking y'all off? Y'all real quiet in the comments. Mara said definitely. Okay, so getting ready for partnership. I like this first affirmation. Actually, this wasn't the first, this was the second. I like this second affirmation card that came out because it says, I love myself deeply. I believe that you cannot have a successful partnership of any kind. Business partnership, platonic friendship partnership, romantic partnership, whatever other type of partnerships that people define out there, until you love yourself deeply. And the reason why is because loving yourself involves that Brittany said, taking responsibility and accountability. You have to show up and be what you want to attract. And that's across the board. Friendship, romantic relationship. So if I want somebody that's a giver, I have to give. Yep, you can't have any healthy relationship without self-love. You have to love yourself enough first. because however you love yourself is how you're going to reflect to the other person or people. Self-love is the first love. You get what you give. That is correct. And that's why I said, like, if you want to attract a giver, you need to be willing to give. I feel like somebody who gives, how do I want to say this? Because I know a lot of people will jump on here and say, well, I'm a giver, but I attract takers. I feel like that is a person that's giving with the expectation of getting something back. What did Thomas say? He said he's not sure he likes me anymore. I said, cool, more free time for me. Yeah. And you know what? The best thing we can do for ourselves is when somebody wants to walk out of our life, let them. Quick, fast, in a hurry. I open the door and roll the red carpet out for you. Here you go. I want you to step nicely as you leaving. Because that's the part of self-love, right? In order for a partnership to stand the test of time, it has to be built on honesty and it has to be whole, right? So, with that being said, we have to allow people to live in their truth, to show up as their true self. Sometimes that may mean partying, and that's okay. But in my opinion, when we hit those roadblocks in partnerships, that's where the sacrifice comes in. Because sometimes it doesn't mean partying. Sometimes it means staying together, but two people, not one person, two people sacrificing something in order to strengthen the bond and hop over that hurdle and continue going forward. I think they have a word for that. It's called compromise. Yeah, go ahead and free yourself. I love that song. But yeah, compromise. Compromising is sacrifice, and it's saying, okay, I kind of don't want to do this, but I'm going to do it for you. I think a part of getting ready for partnership is asking yourself, am I ready for that? And by that, I mean, am I ready to compromise? Even in friendships, we compromise, right? Like we learned this, y'all, even when we was teenagers. Like, and two of my besties from day one is on here right now. So y'all can remember even back to being teenagers. It's like, okay, y'all, we going to the movies this weekend. What we want to see? Well, somebody might be outnumbered in the group and be like, I kind of didn't want to see that. I kind of wanted to see this, but everybody else wanted to see that. These my friends. So cool. That's what we going to go see. That's a form of compromising in a friendship right there on a very minute level, but it's still a compromise. It's still a form of sacrifice because you're going to show up to the movies with your money and see a movie that might have been your second or third choice to see, but you kind of outnumber and you compromise because you just ultimately want to spend time with your friends. Compromise is imperative in any relationship. Now, I'm going to tell you the challenge. I don't know who all is on here right now. I don't know who all is going to see this later. But compromise and sacrifice, those are the two ideas that is very hard for a person that has enjoyed autonomy for a very long time. I'm calling myself out with this one, y'all. Okay, so a part of getting ready for partnership after having been dictatorship is wrapping your mind around compromise and sacrifices. It's like, okay, I'm so used to being boss. Now I have to wrap my mind around the fact that there's somebody else coming into this, right? So there's going to be times where I can't get my way, and I might have to agree to disagree and go along with, okay, I wouldn't have chose this, but because I choose you, I'm going to go ahead and sacrifice this time. And then the next time, that person may compromise and go without something that they want. And then back and forth and back and forth, you meet each other in the middle. And I think that's important to think about that before the partnership arrives. Now, some of us, not me, some of y'all, are already in partnerships. So you're kind of still honing these skills as you go along. But then the rest of us that are still very much so single, I think we need to prepare during this time as well. For those of us that actually want a partnership. Some people might be happily single and don't want a partnership, and that's quite fine too. But even for those people, I'm pretty sure you got a friendship. So you still want to be honing these skills, compromise, sacrifice, and just thinking about what it takes to kind of keep the people in your life. I think we're living in a time that is like, it's a throwaway time. Like everybody is trying to prove I'm good. I don't need nobody. There's a lot of memes and quotes that go around, and cutoff season, my cutoff game is strong. And it should be if somebody is playing in your face. If somebody is playing in your face, if somebody is treating you less than, your cutoff game should be strong. It should be. But I think that whole ideology definitely needs to be put in its place and not be used more than it should be used. And I think that's what some of the old school had over the new school, because the old school knew how to fix things. Granted, they weren't perfect. They had a whole lot of, what was it, cheating in the next room and all that different type of stuff going on. They did. But they knew how to fix things, even if that meant parting. Thank you, BNL. I appreciate it. I had to put my Sunday hat on. Sister Crutcher. Now let me quit. I'm being silly, y'all. That's my brother-in-law over there, y'all. But yeah, it's not to say that they didn't have no speckle or they did no wrong, but they had a way about doing things. They had a way about fixing things and knowing, okay, I got to compromise. I got to sacrifice. I don't want to do that. But, you know, I love my friends. I want to keep my friends in my life. So I'm going to go ahead and call them up and we going to hash this out. We going to go grab a beer and we going to talk this out. Or I don't necessarily agree with my old lady, but I love her. I want to keep her in my life. I'm going to go ahead and talk it out and hash it out. Now it's just off with his head. F them. I don't need nobody anyway. And it's like, okay. Look at how society is turning out now that these cutoff ideologies have been permeating the people. Society is worse, in my opinion. Y'all might not agree with me. And I feel like it stems from our lack of really focusing on healthy partnerships, friendships, relationships, marriages. That's the backbone of society. And a partnership starts with the individuals that's in it. You have to constantly. It's a lot easier than sacrifice. It's a lot easier than sacrifice. But you know what, friend? Whereas the cutoff game is a lot easier than sacrifice, it feel like that at the beginning until you get to this place. And I've never been to a place where I feel like I don't have nobody. Like my friends, they're my day ones. But relationship-wise, I know how it feels to be a single person that has nobody. And I do not regret any of my cutoffs. Let me reiterate that. I do not regret any of my cutoffs. Because not to say I'm just like, oh, he's cut off, he's horrible. Sometimes things don't work out. People don't have a meeting of the mind. So I don't regret any of it. But I understand value in partnership, and I understand the setbacks of being a dictator. That, solitude, pay the cost to be the boss. That's cool. It's a lot peaceful, but it doesn't mean that a healthy partnership would not be welcomed over that. But it has to be a healthy partnership. And it has to be one with shared goals that are going in the same place, in the same direction, with the same end goal. Otherwise, it's going to crash and burn. And both people have to be willing to take those steps to be prepared for partnership. I want to hear more from y'all. I want to hear, what do you guys think are like the top 3 biggest problems in partnerships, why they can't last? Or not why they can't last, why some of them don't last. I'm trying to think of what I think. I already told y'all what I think is one of the biggest problems. It's ego. I think 70% of relational, friendship, romantic, whatever it is, relational issues is solved when people understand ego, communication, expectation. That is true. Now, I'm glad you brought up communication, because this past week, I had a few conversations, and I hate to pick on us women, self-reflection. I think sometimes women have this unfair expectation for their partner to just read their mind instead of them being vocal about it. And that is something that I think we all probably should work on, because communication is key. You have to be able to speak to a person and let them know what you want. Now, I understand sometimes you feel like you're beating a dead horse, because I'm not gonna lie, communication is my drawback. Self-reflection, y'all, my friends on here, I won't mind if y'all keep it all the way 100 with me, because y'all know I can take the truth. Y'all can tell me if y'all think that I'm overselling myself. I don't think I'm bad at self-reflection, but I know that I could do better with communication, because I'm the type, like, I'm gonna say something once, I'll probably say it twice, may even get a third time out of me if I'm really trying to salvage it. But once I feel like I'm not heard and I'm being misunderstood, I ain't gonna talk about it no more. So do y'all think in a case like that, that's just like throw the baby out with the bathwater? Or there needs to be more, not compromise, but more willingness there? What y'all think about that? Like, how many, because this is the thing. On one hand, you got, okay, the only way that you see these married old couples is like, we celebrating 67 years of marriage. You know them people had to have conversations over and over, run-ins over and over, sacrifice over and over. Ain't no way they didn't to make it that many years. And then you have some people that aspire to that. You have some people that don't, but you have some people that aspire to that. So when me, having not have a couple like that could just sit here and tell us out their own mouth, when I see it, my assumption there is that, oh, them people know how to never give up. They know how to never give up. 67 years, 30 years, 45 years, 50 years, 22 years. They know how to never give up. That's a gift. Communication has to be on the other person's level. You just said everything is different, so you have to be willing to speak to them on their level. That's good to point out. That's good. That's good. So is that, now you just made me think of something, because if two people are on two different levels, does that mean that people need to stick with their level? Or does that mean the person needs to just employ more patience? I mean, I guess, that can't be a one size fits all. Nothing is a one size fit all. I guess it depends on the person's level of love and how deeply they want to keep that person in their life. Because what if you got a partner that's like, they just ain't getting it. They just ain't getting it. Call them can't get right, or call her can't get right, because they ain't getting it. At what point is it just like, okay, this is unequally yoked. It wasn't meant to work. We don't need to employ any more patience. We just need to peace out. We wish you well in your future endeavors. What's the line? Is there a line? Should there be a line? Take your time and learn how to effectively communicate to that person. And I think that takes a great deal of, what's the word, y'all? I'm trying to think of the word. That's like being determined. That's like when somebody is like locked in. Like at that point, you're locked in and you're literally determined to hear this person out and make it work with this person. And I personally think that that's like here. But I think a lot of people are struggling to get there. It's the early stages and getting over those hurdles to even get to that point of what you're saying, Britt. But I agree with everything that you're saying. Y'all, Brittany the only one that ain't shy. Everybody else is shy tonight. I'm going to have to play some shy. YouTube might kick me off if I do that. I think for those that are still preparing for partnership, you have to start doing those things for yourself that you seek. So, for instance, if you want a partner that has a nice physique and that looks good and that is health conscious, you need to start being health conscious. Start being conscious about what you eat. Start being conscious about working out, taking a run, all of that, if that's what you seek. Like I said before, if you seek somebody that's going to give to you and pour into you, you have to be willing to come ready to pour into somebody else, male or female. If you want somebody, like if you're the type that like to be communicate, compromise, and course correct, I like that. That's like a punch. That's straight to the point. Communicate, compromise, and course correct. That should be on the shirt. I like that. That's straight to the point. And that sums it up, to be honest. Communicate your feelings, communicate your expectations, what it is you're looking for, what it is you desire. Compromise when necessary, because you can't, one or the other person is never going to always be able to have their way. That ain't going to happen. It's not realistic. Unless you like Siamese twins or something. And then course correct. I saw something on, it doesn't matter where I saw it. I saw a video where these couples were the 3Cs. Yeah, I like that. They were, okay, so say for instance, somebody does something, and this could be employed, this don't have to be a relationship, a romantic relationship. Say somebody did something or said something that hurt your feelings, and you come to them, and the first thing they go to do is defend themselves, like, oh, I wasn't trying to hurt your feelings. I wasn't trying to do that. And what they were saying in the video is like, learn how to be the type of person to where you could hear the other person out, number one, because their feelings is their feelings. You never want to minimize another person's feelings. Now, granted, some people will weaponize that. I get that, but we're not talking about anything toxic tonight. We're talking about preparing for healthy friendships and partnerships and receiving that in return. But what they were saying is be able to be a person that can apologize for the impact. Because, like, of course, everything, like what they say, life is all about perception, right? I could say one thing and mean it one way, and the person I'm communicating with could take it a totally different way. Did I mean it like that? No. Did I want to hurt their feelings? No. But could their feelings be hurt? Yeah. Yeah. And if they come to me and say, well, Tony, when you did such and such, such and such, you hurt my feelings. And I'm like, I did. That was not my intention, but I apologize that what I said or did hurt you, because that was not my intentions. I'm so sorry for that. Why is that so hard? But again, what's that little E word that I love? Ego. Usually, people's ego responds. They're across from somebody that they love and care about, but the first thing they hear, it is more about listening than speaking. That's true. And empathizing. Empathy. Like, y'all, empathy is so important. Like what I'm describing, a lack of empathy, that ain't never gonna happen. A lack of empathy and a big ego, oh Lord. Like, you just asking for a recipe for disaster. Because it's not about what you meant. If you feel like you was wrong or not, it ain't about none of that. It's about the impact that it had on the other person. Again, I reiterate, we're not talking about somebody that's trying to be manipulative and trying to use stuff to try to establish a certain type of power over people, because people will do that. Women and men will do that. Use that, oh, you hurt my feelings or whatever, just like, I just want to see if I can get him to bow down. No, I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about actual effective communication and actual trying to express, hey, so that we can get a common ground. Like Mama said, course correct. Because everybody is different. You have some people that have super thick skin and you could just be completely blunt with them, and they, yeah, even if they do be like, that was kind of harsh how you said that, but they the type to where they can hear it, it's harsh, and be like, all right now, and keep it moving. And you have other people that may sit with that and may be like, well, I don't know how to take that. I really didn't like how you came at me like that. So everybody is the same. I mean, everybody is not the same. It's not a one size fits all thing. So in order to thrive and have healthy partnerships, you would have to be the type of person that's open enough to be able to put your ego to the side, listen to what the other person's saying, and at the very least apologize for the impact, even if your intentions weren't ill. I don't know why that would be hard. When I saw them make note of that, I was like, that is so true. Like, I wonder if I make people feel like that. Like, I should start being cognizant of that. Like, if somebody is to come to me, and usually that's like with my kids. I don't really have run-ins with my friends like that. So when I get little lessons or come across lessons like that, the first people I think about are my kids, because that's who I interact with the most, and that's who if I do need to get on to, I'm getting on to the most. You know what I'm saying? So I typically tend to think about them. I don't have a partner that I'm talking to and engaging with like on that level. But I think that that's good stuff, like effective communicating, listening, and just empathizing with the other person, because we do a lot of things unintentionally that may rub people wrong. We're human. But it's all a part of partnership. And Brittany, you are so right. Listening is clearly more than speaking, because God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth. So already the math is mathing. Listen more than you speak. And be open to correction. So we still didn't talk about the 3 major, actually Brittany said it. She said, what was it? Communication, expectation, and self-reflection. You have to be willing to self-respect. You have to self-respect, self-reflect. You have to be willing to be able to take constructive criticism. Constructive criticism, not arguing. Everybody argues, and sometimes, you know, arguments can get heated, but I think it's good to like my mama said, like course correct. Like you have to remember who you're arguing with. Like, okay, we in an argument right now, but what's more important? Winning the argument or keeping the partnership? These are all things, y'all, that I'm hoping that I don't forget to employ when I do enter into a partnership again, because I ain't gonna lie, it's not an easy thing when you've had autonomy for a long time. It's really not an easy thing. Some things are easier said than done. Mara, you said it depends on the conversation of the argument. So depending on the conversation of the argument, you might be ready to throw the baby out with the bathwater. And that is true. Like, you got to know who you're dealing with, because some people, I'm glad, Mara, you said that, because some people will reveal themselves in an argument. They'll reveal their true selves and how they really feel about you in an argument. And yep, speak your piece, but don't weaponize your truth. That is so true to point out, because some arguments can end stuff. Some lines aren't to be crossed. And then it's not that, because I'm a big proponent of, I believe in the scripture, love covers a multitude of sins. It does. Love can take you anywhere you want to go, if you let it. If you starve it, it's not love, so you ain't going nowhere. But if you let it, it can take you anywhere you want to go. But we can't forget we humans. And sometimes when somebody say and do things, it's just like, I just can't unsee it and unhear it now. Yeah, and there's no coming back from it. Like, yeah. That's usually the types of stuff that makes a relationship end. It's like nail in the coffin. I love you. I ain't gonna stop. Can't say it was love if you stopped. So if you ever told somebody you loved them and you don't love them now, you didn't love them then. That's just my personal opinion. Love, it don't go nowhere. But I heard a guy say, you might not be able to control who you love, but you can control who you give your love to. And some things you just don't come back from. Yeah. I got a smart mouth myself, but and I need to be cognizant of it too. And I think part of that is like letting go of past stuff, because if I could just, yeah, or you don't love who they become. And that, you know what? That's a big one right there. Because for those of us that still want to, one day have like a partnership that lasts, people are going to evolve and people are going to change. And I'm a firm believer in a partnership, we have a lot to do with who that person evolves into as it relates to that partnership. So let me explain what I mean by that. Obviously we all know, and this is friendships too. I guess I shouldn't reduce this to just romanticism, because I don't have a bunch of cattiness in my friendships, but most women do. They fall out with sis because this happened, that happened, she said this, she borrowed this, didn't give it back, whatever. And over time, we might have those conversations. We may say, okay, I forgive you. We back cool again. But if that person does anything that resembles that or triggers that thing they did, it's like, did we let it go or did we just sweep it under the rug? And so as time goes on, a lot of times we'll forgive people and keep them in our lives, but then they keep showing us who they are and showing us who they are. And so that resentment is building, and who knows who they've evolved into 10, 15 years into the partnership, but we saw that evolution. Like, we got to see that. And some of that stuff we kind of didn't let go. And in our defense, some of it you kind of can't let go because the person keep kind of peekabooing you, showing you like, yeah, I forgave you, but this is really looking like the cousin of that other person that I already forgave. So that's a true statement, Mar, because it's like, I love you. I always have, I always will, but who you've become, I can't rock with it no more. And usually that's like a deterioration over time. Obviously, in relationships, we know what usually causes that is usually betrayal by way of cheating. Or it's not always cheating, but cheating is 98% of the time what ends up happening to deteriorate a relationship between men and women. And over time, it's just like it sticks with you. Like, you want to forgive, you want to love them past it, but it sticks with you. Now, apparently, you can get over it because the old people do it. They stay together for 40 and 50 years, and you'll hear ladies say, yeah, Cleotis, in the first 10 years, 15 years of this marriage, he was doing his big one. Somehow, she forgave and stayed with Cleotis. And I'm telling y'all, if I ever meet some older ladies that I could bring on the podcast, I definitely will, because I'm inclined to know where that strength comes from, because I think I got a little inkling. I think it's your love got to be bigger than your ego. My problem with that is I usually hear that, and it's always the woman forgiving. Jesus loves you too. It's always the woman forgiving, but I think sometimes that's because women do their dirt a little better. Cleotis be getting caught. Miss Mildred don't. That's a topic for another night. But nonetheless, like Brittany said, triggers. Yeah, being triggered. Like, being triggered. And people don't like to feel like they're being beat over the head, right? Like, why are you bringing up old stuff? Because you're doing new stuff that reminds me of the old stuff. But I do think there's a place mentally we can get to in our partnerships that we decide this is it. Like, he's it. I'm done. After him, I'm done. So once, or after her, I'm done. Once we get to that level of partnership with whoever that partner is going to be, there has to be some type of goal within self to get to a place where it's like, okay, I'm going to choose to love this person through it all. And true love, because true love does not seek to hurt. Will people make mistakes? Well, yeah. But I don't know. I just feel like people who consistently betray their partner, who consistently don't show up for their partner, they don't love them. Like, so that, in my opinion, that's not a partnership. That's just two people wasting each other's time or taking up each other's space and time. That, in my opinion, that's just my humble opinion. But a real partnership, getting ready for a real partnership, involves getting yourself prepared to give what you want back in return. Treat yourself how you want another person to be treated. If you want to be wine and dine, I love this, y'all. Like, I will take myself on the best of dates and wine and dine myself, because I will not sign up for a partner that's not going to do that for me. Like, I'm just not going to sign up to just say, hey, this is my man, and I'm just going to be lacking. No, not going to do it. So I do those things for myself first, so I could constantly remember, this is what you want. You like this. And not only am I doing that for myself because I know that's what I want to attract, I'm doing that for myself to show myself I have the means to do that as well for my partner when I meet him. That's one of the ways that I prepare myself. And some of that other stuff, I'm just going to have to give it to God, because I can't prepare. I can wrap my mind around compromising and biting my tongue and being quiet and listening, but I can't actively have hands-on experience with that until I actually get a partner. But that other stuff, I can do that. And I can make sure that I'm prepared as much as I can be. And I'm pretty sure I'm a mess up, because I'm human. We all gonna mess up. But I think Brittany hit the nail on the head with self-reflection. Know your flaws, know your limits, know your wants, desires. Be able to stand on business. Be able to stand on business. I so love Drewski for coming up with that phrase. It's the best phrase ever. Be able to stand on business. That's how you gonna find real partnership, because you got to get there. And when you get there, you got to keep it. But you got to get there first. And standing on business is how you get there. Because, baby, it's hard out here for a pimp. So, does anybody have any closing remarks before the benediction? Beautiful. Brittany, you the MVP tonight. Mara, you the MVP too. Mom over there, she tied up. She tied up and tangled up. She really couldn't participate as much as she normally does. Brittany and Mara, y'all are my sounding boards. Said wonderful reflection. Yeah. Have to self-reflect, have to course correct consistently, constantly. That's how you get better. That's how you become a better person. I think partnership ultimately makes us better people, because what better way to become a better person than to day in and day out work hand in hand with another person? Compromise, sacrifice, love, forgive, withstand. All of those things make you a better person. And I think to a certain degree, like, you know, we like to think, like, a partnership is somebody that agrees to everything. They love the same stuff you love. You love golf, they love golf. No, not necessarily. Now, some people do marry their twin, I guess. I think that would be pretty boring. That's just my opinion. But I would say this: healthy partnerships challenge you, friendships challenge you. Healthy friendships challenge you. I be wrong sometimes. And y'all be telling me, best friend, I'm with you to the end, but you dead ass wrong. Like, you need that. You need that, y'all. Everybody needs that. I'm going to end with this. Everything in life that we have assigned high value to is made under pressure. Iron is put in heat, okay? Diamonds, tremendous pressure. When we do get our butts in the gym and work out, the first thing that happens to the muscles, they get broken all the way down. We tear the muscles up. That's why we come home aching, feeling like somebody threw us in a blender and turned it on. But you have to break the muscles all the way down in order to build them all the way back up. Anything in life that we have assigned great value to is made under tremendous challenge and pressure. We become great people through challenges. So, challenge yourself to be a better partner to yourself. Number one, self-love. Iron sharpens iron, it does. Love yourself deeply. Don't ever stop. Because you got to have a cup to pour from in order to pour into somebody else's cup. And yeah, always be ready for partnership. At work, at home, with your kids, with your cousin, Ray, to get on your nerves, but he family. With your man, Tyrone, who get on your nerves, but you love him. With your woman, Ajawaka Batiba, who get on your last nerves, but you love her. Don't ever forget that. Love makes the world go round. Whether you want to agree or not, we shall see it in the end. So, that's all I got for y'all tonight. I'm going to take me and my Darkwing Duck hat, and I'm going to retire for the night. And I'm going to see you guys next time I come on here with a message. Of course, we're going to be back next Thursday. I don't know what our topic is going to be yet next Thursday. I really don't. But we're going to talk about something that's, you know, engaging. So I love you all. I thank you guys for joining. Please consider sharing this out to your socials if you have not already, so we can build the community. And I hope you guys continue to enjoy the rest of your Friday. All right, y'all. Peace out.